Welcome to Intentional Excellence Elevate Your Life podcast, and I'm your host, Candice Ruggiero. I'm a keynote speaker, a podcast and live show host, educator, and entrepreneur. This month, we continue with our Solo and Strong series, focusing on thriving as a single parent. And I'm proud to feature incredible individuals who might be navigating life alone as single parents, yet they are thriving in their own unique ways. At the Intentional Excellence channel, we delve into powerful conversations on resilience, leadership, empowerment, and healing. And I'm just excited to be hosting today's episode. And as an educator and entrepreneur, my mission is to guide others toward living intentionally with excellence, overcoming obstacles, and building strong foundations for personal growth. Today's guest is the incredible Beth Brunk. Beth is a true testament to strength, resilience, and faith. She believes deeply in God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and she gives all the glory to God for the healing she's experienced throughout her life. Beth has faced profound challenges, including an abusive marriage filled with pornography, addiction, sexual abuse, and betrayal. And after enduring 23 years of trickle disclosure, watching her marriage unravel, and overcoming multiple forms of abuse, Beth sought healing in many ways, finding freedom from the trauma, from the pain, and ultimately breaking free from generational strongholds. While she recognizes that full healing may not come in this lifetime, she's walking in abundance and freedom from the pain of intimate partner betrayal. Beth's commitment to daily healing and faith has allowed her to rebuild, to grow, and parent her children in a thriving environment. To my viewers, please help me welcome the amazing Beth Brunk. Hi, Beth.
Hi. Thank you for that introduction.
I'm just moved. Thank you for being so just open and really willing to share your experiences because we might not know how many people may resonate with them. And having a guest who's really here with her powerful stories will really leave an impact to the viewers. And I just want to say thank you for trusting me and my platform in sharing your story, Beth.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Beth, is there anything else that you want to share about yourself, or did I forget about anything?
Well, I'm a mother to five children.
Okay.
The oldest is 23, the youngest is 11,
Okay.
and I live in beautiful Washington State.
Nice. Nice. Okay. Yes, are all the children still with you?
No, my oldest is married. Um,
Okay. Do you have grandchildren?
I don't have grandchildren. She likes to say I have grand cats,
Oh, okay, that works. That works.
but I don't have grandchildren yet.
Okay.
My two oldest children are out of the home. I have five children. Four are living. One of them has died. So
Sorry. I'm
um,
sorry.
my oldest two that are living are both out of the home, and I still
Okay.
have the 14 and 11-year-old.
You must have dealt a lot. So take a deep breath and, let's just enjoy the present moment, and our hope is to really leave an impact to others by sharing our story. Again, my apologies, deepest apology for the son that for the child that you lost, Beth. Thank you again for being here.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
All right, so Beth, let's talk about the power of intentional healing. Your journey of healing has been deeply intentional, Beth. You've sought different modalities. You leaned into your faith and made a conscious decision to break free from the pain of betrayal. Beth, what does intentional healing look like for you on a daily basis? And how has that commitment shaped the life you're living now?
Oh, intentional healing for me on a daily basis looks like um, reading my Bible every morning and praying, and making sure that I'm taking time for myself before my children get out of bed. So I get up before my children do. I do my morning routine, which includes exercise, reading, praying, crocheting, because I love to crochet.
That's
I,
so interesting.
I spent many years not being creative. I just did not have the brain capacity to be creative. And with the healing, the more healing that I do, the more creative I get. And I absolutely am loving it. I used to be very creative. So I'm enjoying the creativity coming back. And
Okay.
then spiritual warfare. I do spiritual warfare every day for myself and my children, just rebuking the enemy, telling him that he has no place
Okay.
around my children or myself, and doing any generational work that needs to be done. I ask for Father to reveal that to me, and breaking those agreements, strongholds, so that we can all just walk in freedom. Because what I have learned and how this impacts my life is that the more I heal, that trickles down or ripples down to my children,
Of
and the
course.
more that they heal.
Yes. How long have you been in this healing journey, if I may ask, Beth?
Yes, you may ask. I've been on this healing journey for 8 years.
Okay. All right. And it's never ending. We all try to heal on a daily basis because we change as a person, as an individual, and our goal is to become better every day. So that healing for me is endless. It's lifetime,
Yep,
right?
yep.
And your intentional approach to healing, Beth, reminds me of my own journey through loss. So I believe that healing is not a linear process. I lost my husband in 2023. So in 2024, like you, I went on a healing journey. And I what I did was I left a career that I've done for 30 years in field of education and started a new one that is totally different, very challenging, but at the same time fulfilling and allowing me to tap into my passion, strength and creativity. So I became a speaker, and it's not it hasn't been long. Maybe I've been doing this for like maybe 6 months, and I believe that what I did to heal, Beth, is I went inward as well. I learned that being alone, it was my power to find my true authentic self. And I really realized that being solo can be difficult, but you need so, Beth, your intentional approach to healing really reminds me of my own journey through loss. I do believe that healing is not a linear process, and I just wanted to share with you that in 2023, towards the end, I lost my husband, and what I did was year 2024, I really went on a healing journey, and I know healing is different for everyone.
Hmm.
What I did was I went inwards. I tried to find myself, my authentic self. Um, I realized it, it's challenging, but at the same time, fulfilling to find your own strength, your passion, and your creativity. And I had to leave a 30-year career in the field of education. And my ultimate goal was to be a principal. I was so close to doing that, but I then decided that no, I had to leave that goal, my ultimate main goal in life, and then go to another path in my life because I just needed a change. I needed something new and find who I am again, like my strengths and my passion, and just I needed something new for myself. And I realized that time that being solo can be difficult, Beth, but you need to accept it and use it to make yourself better. So my healing involved taking care of my physical, my mental, emotional, and spiritual being, prioritizing myself. And there are days wherein it's hard, but you know what? The reality now is I've learned to love myself. I've learned to myself fully. My challenges, my defeats, my weaknesses made me who I am right now. And because of that healing journey, I'm here, um, you know, hosting a wonderful podcast with amazing guests. So I do believe that healing is important if you're going through something or not, just to make you a better person,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Beth, you did mention in when I read about your bio about breaking generational strongholds. That's really powerful because many people find themselves repeating cycles of pain and trauma without realizing it. And you've spoken about breaking generational strongholds and curses. Beth, what steps have you taken to break those cycles, and what advice do you have for others who feel trapped in generational patterns of pain?
What great questions.
Thank you.
Excuse me. So, the steps that I've taken to break these generational curses and strongholds, one is there's a healing modality called splankna. And
Okay.
splankna in the Greek means guts. And there's a practitioner that there are people that are trained in this and they practice it. And it involves muscle testing, partnering with the Holy Spirit, and then there's some other things that go into it as well. And I found this modality in 2018.
Okay.
Yeah, 2018, and started doing it. And the freedom that I found from it was just astounding. And then
Okay.
someone introduced me to the emotion code. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. I
No, please enlighten me
there's
on
a
it.
there's a book called The Emotion Code, and he gives you the entire protocol for doing the emotion code on yourself. And so I started to do that. And basically, it's just asking your body. I stand and ask my body, do I have any trapped emotions that I need to release right now? And then,
Okay.
excuse me, and then my body will sway forward or backward for yes, backwards for no.
Wow.
And then what I do is I just um, part of the protocol is asking if this is my own emotions or if this is
Hmm?
someone else's emotions. And if it's someone else's emotions, it's generational.
Okay.
So then,
Wait, again, if it's someone else's emotion, then it's considered generational.
correct.
Okay?
Yep.
Okay.
Um, so then I bring, because I everything I do, I bring scripture into it and I bring prayer into it. And so I then
Okay.
pray and repent for whatever this was, and um, ask the blood of Jesus to come over it and to break it and to
Okay.
create freedom. And as I'm doing that, not only am I freeing myself, but I'm also lessening the effects of that generational curse or
Yes,
stronghold.
yes. You're breaking it. Like you're breaking it totally.
Right. Well, I'm lessening the effects of it for my children. I'm breaking it for myself, but
Yes.
lessening the effects of it for them because they're going to need to do their own healing work. But
Okay.
so as far as recognizing things, like you can look at your own life and you can look at your parents' lives and
Okay.
their parents' lives, and you can begin to see patterns.
Right. Right.
And you can think also, I'm just going to be real transparent here. I have a grandma who was very bitter about things that happened in her youth. And we heard about them even as adults. So I am over 40, and I remember hearing, even as an adult, my grandmother talking about these things that happened to her as a child or
Right.
as a young adult, a teenager. And so that for me was like, there is bitterness that runs in this
Yes.
family line, and I'm going to
There's no
break
healing.
I'm
Yeah.
going to break that bitterness, and I'm not allowing that
Yes.
bitterness to control me. And so that, that's just an example of seeing how things can come through the family line that are
Yes.
generational.
Right.
Because I can see the same bitterness in my parent
Right.
that came from that grandmother. So I don't want that to come through me to my
Right.
children.
Right.
So I
Right.
broke it. So there's things like that. Things that are obvious, like addictions. Those kinds of things
Right.
they're fairly obvious that that's a generational stronghold or curse. But there's things that are less obvious. So just paying attention to patterns within the family line
Yes.
helps
Yes.
to recognize those cycles, and then you can break those cycles.
And I love what you're trying to do, because when that generational cycle continues, it just changes. It's a ripple effect. It doesn't stop if you don't break it. And sometimes it just doesn't stop there. It becomes worse. Relationships get affected.
Yes.
Your goals in life gets affected. The way you see, the way you view yourself, the way you view others, the way you see the world becomes affected as well. So there is really a big importance of breaking generational beliefs, especially if it's not for the good of everyone.
Right.
And I'm glad that there's something like a process or a form or whatever you called it, because that could be really strong and powerful. Sometimes you can't do it alone. So if
Right.
you can find something, a process or a way to stop that, please do so. Spread it to everyone, because a lot of us are into these patterns, and people don't know that you can actually break cycles.
Yep.
So I love that you're here, and I hope that somebody will hear what you just said, because I'm sure a lot of people are going through generational curses or generational cycles that no longer serve them, or that brings them down as a person, as a family, and as a community member. I love that. Thank you.
And if I could,
Um,
I just had this thought come to me. If I could just throw this out there too.
oh, yes.
Um,
No, feel free. Just, yeah.
I'm always telling my children, speak life. Speak life over yourself, speak life over
Right.
others. And generational things can start with us. So if we
Yes.
are
Yes. Start it. Start it.
if we are speaking things over ourselves, like, I'm not creative, or I'm not beautiful, or I'm not enough, or those kinds of words over ourselves can create generational strongholds that then go to our children. So if I could just encourage people to be aware of the words that you're using and the actions that you're taking, because you can start these generational challenges and strongholds and curses for your children. So be aware.
Yes. That's why my journey as a speaker, Beth, I am on social media every day sharing positivity, being just uplifting others. And I just wanted to share with you that I came up with this weekly live show. And you know how I call it? It's called Love Speaks. And I talk about mainly love, embracing yourself, uplifting others, and compassion to the world, because I feel like love is so simple, yet it's overlooked.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just what you and I are talking about. Let's love each other. Stop the negativity. Like what you said, affirm positive words every day, because those negative words that you say will start that generational cycle. And sometimes what you say becomes who you are as a person,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that's why I also try to remind myself, if I have nothing nice to say, keep it to yourself. Or I just learned to just value life in general. Or maybe when I was younger, a teenager, I would like, oh, like, like get into that habit of like, maybe, oh, look at her, I don't like what she's wearing. But now, as you grow older, you really realize that, like, if you want your kids to look up to you, you need to be a good role model for them,
Yes.
which is be careful with the words that you say, because your words become you. Your words are so powerful.
Yes. Our words are
That's
very
why as a
powerful.
speaker, I love what I'm doing, because I'm trying to be just uplifting others with some positivity in life. Because like if you turn on everything TV, social media, it's so sad and negative.
Mm-hmm.
So we really need conversations like this, so that people will know that, hey, there is a path towards positivity, and spreading kindness, and this is what you and I are trying to do, right?
Yes.
Now I just wanted to quickly reflect on what you said about breaking generational curse. can I use the opposite? I wanted to reflect on my own family legacy, Beth. I want to try to go back when I was a child because, like, not all childhood experiences are really curses. I wanted to share my own journey, which is really positive, Beth. Like, I was raised by two parents, my mom and dad, who showed really strong love and respect in the relationship. They really, I grew up with seven. We're seven siblings, right? And they really made us prioritize education and how to be a good person. I've been lucky because my parents really were such a good role model. My dad was like a president of a company. He didn't own it, but he was head of like a large corporation. And then he owned his practice, law practice. And when he passed away, also at an early age, my mom took over. And in my life, I've seen how my parents like really worked hard and really taught us, seven of us, how to be there for each other and just be, just show kindness and hard work and perseverance. And I feel like I want to continue that generational pattern of family. You know what I mean? So it's not all bad. And I just wanted to show everyone that it's important to have that cycle by being good role models to your kids because eventually it's going to have a ripple effect to your grandkids and then your great grandkids. So it's really important just to be a good person, I guess, or, be a good role model right now so that, others will see who you are and learn from you,
Hmm.
right?
Yes.
Um, Beth, there's this topic that is really very important in my podcast channel. I talk about resilience a lot. And especially you talked about resilience, how you became resilient after betrayal. And I did mention that when I introduced you. And especially from someone you trusted and loved. And it can really shake a person to their core if that thing happens to you. Yet, Beth, you found a way to not just survive, but thrive. Beth, what did resilience look like for you in the darkest moments? And how did you find the strength to rebuild after such profound hurt?
Well, in the darkest moments, resilience for me looked like there is no way that I can give up.
Wow.
I have to just keep moving forward. And because of my strong faith, I would turn to the scriptures and
Okay.
look for encouragement, look for promises and truth that I could speak over myself and into myself, honestly.
Yes.
Um, and one of those scriptures is actually Romans 8:28, and it says, um, "And we know that all things work together for good for those who love Him and are called according to His purpose." That is beautiful
It's
because
beautiful.
when you are in those deepest, darkest moments, knowing that He is, I like to think of our life as a stage. And
Okay. Yes.
there's a curtain, and the Lord is behind the curtain, setting things in place for the next scene of our life. We're out here in front of the curtain. We don't see what's going on back here, but
Right.
we can trust that He has our good always at the forefront, and that there might be things that someone's doing to harm me or to hurt me, but He's rearranging things so that
Yes.
they cannot harm me, and it's only going to be for my good. Now, does
Right.
that mean that we aren't going to get hurt and we won't be harmed? No. But we can know that He knows that that's going to happen
Mm-hmm.
and that He has a purpose for it. And yes, I went into my marriage at 20 years old expecting that I was going to be loved and cherished and taken care of, and that is not what happened.
Sorry.
Um, so I found my strength by going to Him in prayer, by reading His Word, and getting it deep within my heart. And also, it is so important. This is one thing that I cannot leave off when I'm talking about this.
Yeah.
Finding people that are going to speak truth into your
Yes.
life and into your
Yes.
heart and into your mind when you are in those deepest, darkest moments is vitally important.
Right.
If you don't have friends or family surrounding you that can do those things,
Right.
that will lift you up and encourage you, you need to find them.
Right.
Because when you are in those darkest moments, it is so easy to believe the voice in your head that says, you might as well give up.
Right.
This isn't going to get any better. Or you're not enough. You'll never be enough. Or for someone like me that's been intimately betrayed, you're not sexy enough. You're not enough in the bedroom. You're not, there's a reason he went and cheated on you. Well, we need someone to combat those lies when we can't do
Right.
it ourselves.
Yes. Yes. And I also want to reflect on what you said. When we are given trials and challenges in our life, it's not because we're being punished
No.
by the Lord. It's because He wants us to go through those challenges and trials because he wants us to become better in the end. Like, look at you now, you became strong, you are here right now sharing your story. And yes, I'm sorry it was such a, difficult moment in your life, but I believe that without those difficulties in life, we wouldn't be able to navigate the world better. And your closeness, your faith have become stronger because of all these things,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that you believe that he's there for you no matter what. It's strong enough to stand through the test, whatever test that we're given in life. And also, I also believe that things happen for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
The death of my husband 2023 happened for a reason. And I also want to reflect on what you said during those defining moments, during those darkest moments. You need to have a great support system, because during those darkest moments, you are so vulnerable to failing, to hurting yourself, or just going down, like failing and falling. And without those support system, nobody's there to check up on you. To be honest, like when I lost my husband, I really didn't have a good support system, because like I moved from, first of all, my main family is in the Philippines. Although I lived in New York for 20 something years, most of my friends were there. And then I moved to Florida I've been here three years. So when my husband passed away while we were here in Florida, I really didn't have a lot of good friends, because at my age, it's harder to make friends. And, um, like I felt alone. I'm gonna be honest. When my husband passed away, I had maybe one or two good friends that really stayed with me.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of them were on my Facebook page saying prayers and thoughts, but they weren't really there for me.
Right.
Like never really, even like, um, like those living near me didn't even pick up the phone and say, "Hey, how are you?" Like I said, I met who my true friends are when you are in that darkest moment of your life. And you have to learn from it. You cannot, then that time I just depended on myself. You know what I mean? Because I was kind of alone, and like it's different when you have a physical support. Like yes, they can email you, they can call you, but just having somebody there.
Yeah.
So I learned to be more resilient in my situation, and just turn to my Lord, myself, my family, and know that I'm gonna be okay. And I'm gonna go back to what you said. Be positive. Just say positive words that, hey, I'm gonna be okay. This is a temporary setback. I'm gonna learn from my experiences, whatever I'm going through. I'm gonna be okay. With God's help, with my family, my main family, my children with me, I'm gonna be okay. And that's part of being resilient for me. Just going through the trials and making them um, make you a better person. So every day, that's my goal now. Just showing everyone, my viewers, my followers, how resilience is. And that is going through the darkest moment in your life and making it better for you to shine for others, and, your family, and for others. Right?
Yes.
Very, like a lot of things that we go through as a single, being solo, but hey, we're thriving.
That's right.
That's one thing, we're proud of. Like, we may be solo, but we use it as strength in order to be stronger.
Yes.
Beth, let's talk about now thriving as a single parent. Being a single parent comes with its own set of challenges. It's already hard to be a mom. It's already hard to raise a family. But being single is even challenging. But doing so while healing from your deep trauma requires an entirely different level of strength. Beth, how has your healing journey influenced the way you parent? And what has helped you create like a stable and thriving environment for your children?
Well, it's influenced the way I parent in that I'm much more understanding
Okay.
of my children's own emotions
Okay.
and moods. Um, because if I'm feeling the way I am as an adult, and I've had this many years of life to, to grow and to mature and to strengthen my faith, but they're still children. I need to be understanding
Yes.
of their emotions and give them the tools to work with their emotions and to understand their emotions.
Right.
So it's definitely helped me to be a lot more understanding.
Okay.
And as far as creating a stable and thriving environment, just getting out of the chaos or
Okay.
or making the chaos leave us created so much stability.
Okay.
And then making routines. So having
Love that.
routines, knowing, for myself, I am doing this alone. I I say, and this is literally the case, I was a married single mother. Now I am a true single mother because I'm not
Okay.
married.
How long were you a married single mother,
I was a
if I may
married single
ask?
mother for um, 23 years.
Oh my gosh. So this is pretty recent?
Well, my divorce was final a year ago,
Okay.
but it took 2.5 years. So,
Okay.
and we were separated for 3 years before we got the
Okay.
divorce. So, yeah. For me, it doesn't feel like it's recent. It feels like it was 5 years ago.
Right, 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 right.
um,
I'm
so,
sorry.
so for stability, doing my own healing work means that I am going to be less irritable, less
Okay.
angry. There's going to be less triggers because I'm healing those things. So that also lends itself to stability and being grounded. But I use essential oils for
I do
emotional
too.
support. I use essential
Yeah.
oils for mental support. I I even at 20 degrees, I go out with my bare feet and I walk on the frozen ground for grounding. And
Yes.
like it's so cool. I love it when it's snowy because I can just step onto that snow and
Whoa.
I just feel the grounding happen. Like I
Right.
feel the negativity, the negative energy leave, and I feel, yeah, it's amazing. I absolutely love it. But so I do grounding in the summer. I'll go out and just flat out lay in on the grass and just
Yes.
lay there
Yes.
and let the earth ground me.
Yes.
Exercising, going for a really brisk walk or lifting weights, those kinds of things. They also moving your muscles and contracting your muscles. We have learned that releases some feel good hormones, right? And so it's good to
Yes.
do those things. And that's also grounding. And that also helps to create that stability because now I'm less irritable. Now I'm less angry or
Yes.
whatever. So, yeah. And then that, when you're stable, it's just so much more easier to thrive.
And when you're stable, that's your children see you stable. There's just a glow in you. There's just a positivity in you. You're less irritable, just what you said. And like the choices that you make, the words that come out of your mouth are just inspiring and very, like it's for if your children, I'm sure, will see the difference if you are this or if you are that because of the lack of stability. And just like you, I believe in being grounded. I feel that, especially now, I work from home because I left the field of education, right? Being working from home can drive you nuts, okay? Because I'm not used. There's nobody to talk to. There's no collaboration. I miss my students. I'm mostly on the computer because of what I do, and which is also good because I found my authenticity. Part of my journey is like going inward and found myself. Ground Being grounded for me is big, just like you. I like to just go out for a walk. If I have to go out for a walk, I'm lucky because I'm in Florida. So I don't have to deal with that negative degree of like walking. So although I miss that, I really find time to go out and ground myself by going out and enjoying nature, walking, or just simply just opening my patio and just walking bare feet. I also love going to the beach, which is one of the advantage of living here in Florida. And when I am grounding myself, that's when I practice mindfulness. I just feel that I am there presently at the moment. And that's where I find peace, tranquility, calm. Like I'm able to like just close whatever like self-doubt that sometimes can visit you, or just that's where I find my inspiration when I write, or when I want to come up with like a new project. Just when you're grounded, you just feel so alive. And like you just feel so close to whoever the higher power you believe in. You know what I mean? And just taking a break from the busyness of your work, of life, of parenting, even 5-10 minutes of just grounding yourself just for you is very powerful. I agree with you, Beth. Very 100%. And like the building that stability is important, because without those stability, um, you can't your the decisions that you make might not be what's best or what's good for that moment or for that situation. So it's really important to take care of yourself, I guess. If you want to summarize it, self-love, love yourself by doing all these things,
Yes.
whether spiritual, mental, or emotional. um, Take care of yourself, right? Yes. And that's so heavy. I believe that parenting through trauma, whether what you experience and mine, is incredibly hard, but it's also the most transformative experience, Beth. And we can provide our children with a healthy, nurturing space by doing all these things that you have mentioned. And I hope others will, find the strength by doing all these things that you and I have mentioned, because it's powerful. It can totally change you, or like the family or the community, by doing what we suggested. Beth, let's talk about now finding freedom in faith. Your faith has been central to your healing journey. And I love how you've centered your life around your faith, and you've openly shared how you see God's hand in everything around you. Beth, I know you mentioned it already, but you want to add more um, realization on how has your relationship with God transformed through your experiences, maybe moving forward now, or as a suggestion to others. What role has faith played in your ability to heal and move forward, or what can you advise others in that light?
Yeah. So when my daughter died 18 years ago, she died from a reaction to antibiotics, and it was a 9 month.
How old was she? I'm sorry. How old was your daughter?
She was almost 3,
Oh my gosh.
and it was 9 months from the time she got sick until she died.
Okay.
And after her death, I was angry, and I was angry with the Lord. I was very angry.
Okay.
And I was yelling at him one day. I like to tell people, you know what? He's big. He can handle your anger. If you're angry with him, yell at him. Let him know you're angry with him. It's
Yes.
okay. He can handle it. And I know because I had this experience. So I was yelling at him, and I was angry. And when I finally just spent my anger and I got really quiet, he actually came to me and he said, I understand. My child died too. And my anger dissipated, and my anger about her death I've never dealt with again. It was just
Wow.
gone.
Wow.
When you have that kind of understanding, it makes a world of difference. And we
Right.
can't, as humans, we can't give anyone that kind of understanding because, yes, your husband died, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
That's hard. And you know what it was like for you when he died, but you
Right.
don't know what it's like for your friend or the lady in the grocery store whose husband has died because you're not them.
Yes.
But because he created me and he knows me inside out, he knows exactly how I feel.
How you feel.
Yes. And so that anger just dissipated. And that's been one of my huge things that I've clung to.
Awakening.
Well, an
Okay.
awakening, yes, that's a great word for it. But it's been an experience that I've clung to because he came to me. In my time of anger and sadness and grief, he came to me. And he has continued to do that. It's like he set a precedence right there at her death. He has continued to come to me through my abusive marriage and through my divorce. And now, as a single mother, he has continued to show up for me over and over and over, leaving no doubt that it's
Right.
him doing the work.
Yes. Yes.
So the role that my faith has played in my ability to heal and move forward, so I started with Splachna.
Okay.
I started my healing journey. Well, I started it with reading a book, but but working with others, I started with Splachna. And
Okay.
from Splachna, I was like, okay, this is definitely healing. This is definitely working for me. But I had these few things that really bothered me.
Okay.
And so I was like, Father, what now? How do I deal with my memories of my wedding night that are intrusive thoughts that just
Okay.
will not go away? How do I deal with this? And he showed me EMDR. And
Okay.
I did EMDR. I loved EMDR.
What is
Amazing.
EMDR? Can you enlighten? What is that?
So EMDR stands for eye movement reprocessing desensitization.
Okay.
So when we're sleeping, when we're in our REM sleep, rapid eye movement
Okay.
sleep, our eyes are rapidly moving back and forth
Yes.
while we're
All right.
sleeping.
Rapid eye movement. Yeah.
And it's helping our brains to process our day, to process our experiences, our emotions, things that we did, things that were said to us, things that we said, it's helping our brain to process all of that. That's why while you're asleep. EMDR does it while you're awake. And my practitioner used a light bar. The lights moved back and forth.
Okay.
So I was watching these lights move back and forth, which stimulates the brain to process bilaterally. And you
Okay.
can process while you're doing this. You're thinking about this incident that caused the intrusive thoughts. So
Okay.
I'm thinking about my wedding night while I'm watching these lights go back and forth. And um, it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. I loved it. It only took 8 weeks, and she said, "You're done, Beth. You've you've
Wait,
processed."
you went through that process for 8 weeks to finally to really say that you're healed from it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
Now, where will others find that? Like, is that something that you do? Is that something like, do you recommend anyone? If, because that's very interesting. Like, if you totally want to get rid of, I guess, the negativity or whatever, it's ingrained in you, that's a good process. Because sometimes when something is so ingrained on you, you just can't do it alone.
Right.
So how can others find it? Is it something that you're offering?
No, it's best done in person.
Okay.
I am not trained in EMDR. I'm not a therapist or a counselor, so I'm
Okay.
not trained in EMDR. It's best to do it in person. You can do it over Zoom or
Okay.
telehealth, but my experience is it's better to do it in person.
Okay.
And I would just Google
Okay.
EMDR therapist in
Okay.
my area who use EMDR.
Okay. That's new to me, so I needed more details
Yeah,
to share with others because that alone is very new to me.
yeah.
Whew. Oh my goodness. Faye.
So after I did EMDR, then I was like, okay, that is gone. So what's next? Where do I go next? What do I do next? And he led me to the next thing. And then when that was done, I was like, what's next? Where do I go now? And he led me to the next thing. And I actually ended up doing CPT, cognitive processing therapy
Okay.
for PTSD. And that, again, I loved it. It worked so well for me. And it's something that I continue to use
Okay.
in my thinking. Like, if I'm thinking, well, I'm terrible because I did this and this happened, so I can use the CPT to reprogram my thinking around a
Right.
certain situation, which is the the process of CPT is to process the situation and
Right.
be healed from it, which I did it around my honeymoon. He masturbated in
Okay.
front of me on my honeymoon, and so I did my CPT around that experience.
Wow. I mean, who I am learning so many things from you, and I feel that I want to reflect on what you said about when you were yelling at God because you were mad. I just feel that I was resonating with what you said because I feel that that's part of being human.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like pain. That's how we deal with pain. And sometimes you just, I feel like it's a release. Like I do that too when things I have a like I'm gonna say that I do have my strong faith as well in my own way.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that this change of career, this healing that I went through after my the loss of my husband has been divinely led. Never will I have ever imagined that I would leave a career of 30 years and step into something that I'm not even experienced at. You know what I mean? But I feel like in everything that I'm doing right now, I'm being led. Do this, like what you said, do this. There's a next step to do that. But you know what? Whenever I come across like some things that don't work my way, like I've been because I'm new in the speaking industry, so I would submit proposals. I kept getting rejected, rejected, rejected. I would get mad at God. I really would get mad at God, like crying, like a little girl. Like I'm his daughter, crying. Like why? Like what did I do? Why can't I get this? But you know what? I realize I've been getting setbacks in this healing journey. It's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy, Beth. I feel like the healing for me is me going through setback after challenges, rejection, financial instability, because I'm a single provider now, like unexpected things, as like because now I'm doing multiple roles as a husband. I'm doing two roles now because of my limitation. And I just keep getting setback. But you know what, in every setback that I experience, Beth, it just makes me stronger. I just get back up, and I look back like maybe 6 months ago or like 8 months ago. I'm like, hey, I did that. That was nothing. Like looking at me right now, I don't think there's anything that I can't do because I went through
Right.
that phase in my life. But it doesn't mean it's easy. At that time, I cried and I get mad at God like a little girl until now. But then, I laugh at myself because it's like I look up to him as a God. That's my father. You know what I mean? So like a little girl just like being a little brat. Like, why can't I get this? Why can't I get that? But then in the end, I'm like, thank you. Thank you for making me me. Thank you for allowing me to go through this pain and challenges because right now I'm thriving. I may be solo individual right now, Beth, but I will tell you, I've never felt so loved by God. I've never felt so strong as an individual and powerful as a person. And I'm here to make an impact. What I'm doing right now, talking to you, I'm inviting people to share their story because that's my journey now. Showing to the world that, hey, these are powerful people who share stories you can resonate with, you can learn from. So faith has also, just like you, have been a strong force in my journey. In my journey, solo but strong and thriving, just like you.
Yes, yes. And I would add that you ask about moving forward, and I would just add that as you heal, it
Yeah,
naturally moves you forward.
I love that. Can you say that again? I like that.
As you heal, it naturally moves you forward.
Wow. Yep. Because where else you're healed?
Where else are you going
So
to
there's
go?
no more going back,
Right.
right? There's no more going back. Just use those things that are on the past as a reminder or something to inspire you moving forward. Like why go back, right?
Right. Well, you can't forget those things that happened because
Yes, no, it's part of you.
it's part of you, and if you forget them, then you're going to forget the lessons that you learned, and you're going to repeat. This
Yes.
goes back to the very beginning when we started talking, and I forget exactly how you said it, but repeating those patterns,
Yes.
and if you don't allow yourself to heal or intentionally heal, run hard after healing. That's what I like to say. I have ran hard
Yes.
after healing. If you don't do that, then you're going to stay stuck in the past and you're going to continue
Yes.
to repeat those things. But as you heal, it naturally moves you forward because you've learned the lessons and you've
Yes.
healed from them, which means you're not going to repeat them. There's nothing to go back to. You just
No.
are going to keep moving forward.
And then I'm going to use the word authenticity. That's how you find your authentic self because you were able to go through
Mm-hmm.
to pass those challenges in your life and made you become better because without those challenges, without you going through those things that you went through, you wouldn't be here right now.
Right.
Being positive not just for yourself, for your children and for others. And I think you and I have a bigger purpose now in life. Share what we are going through or share what we went through. It doesn't mean that we're not gonna have more challenges in life, but at least we now know how to go past it
Right.
with our faith, with the fact that we know we can do it and that it's just a temporary setback and we will learn from it. That's one thing I know about whatever challenges that I face right now. It's a lesson for me. It's a lesson that I will learn from and I will use it again to make me stronger. Sharing it with others because it can be a simple obstacle that I'm going through, but others might resonate with it. And other people don't have the tools. They do, but they haven't cultivated it. They haven't found their authentic self yet and don't know how to navigate it at the moment. So maybe you and I have that strong impact. Keep sharing because there are people listening, yeah. I like that. Beth, I always ask this to all my guests. You already said so many powerful, inspiring words, but if there is one thing, a concept, a quote, or a topic that you want the viewers to remember you with, what would that be?
Well, I want to go back to healing, and
Okay.
I have already said this. We've talked about healing a lot, and I've already said this, but I want to just reiterate it because it is so true. As you heal yourself, you heal your children, and
Yes.
ultimately you heal the world around you. We have a saying, hurt people hurt people. Well, healed people heal people. So if you are in the midst of healing, don't despair, don't give up,
Right.
don't
Right.
don't feel like you're alone. You're not alone. There's a lot of us out here that have been through
Right.
similar
Right.
circumstances. There's a lot of us out here that are doing the healing work. Some of us are doing it very quietly, some of us are doing it
Mm-hmm.
quite loudly.
I love that. I love that.
But
Yeah.
don't neglect your healing work, because as you heal your children and you heal the world around you.
And let me add to what you said. Healing may be different. Healing is different for everyone. You'll know when you need to heal when you are in a state of just you're scared. You're always stressed, you're always scared. There's like fear in you. You know, then when you have these feelings and emotions, that's when you know, hey, I need to heal. I need to be better, not just for myself, but like what you said, with to your children and others. And it might take a while for others, it might take longer for others, but the important thing is really be in that moment and appreciate the process and just use that time. Don't rush it. Let it go on its course. Is that it? Or let it take the, oh, what do you call it? Let it take the process. You know what I mean? You don't rush it. Enjoy the moment because that's when you'll find your true, authentic, genuine self. Have your faith with you, support system, or ask for help. It will not harm you. Um, you can't do it alone sometimes, you know. Find a way to heal. Like what you said, it could be quiet, it could be with others, it could be because of like going in a class. It doesn't matter. Your healing is yours. So find what best works for you.